The past year or so has been an incredibly difficult time for mankind. But mankind is an incredibly resilient, adaptive, strong species. We take the tools that we've learned in the past and we build something so much stronger, so much better. From that comes Forge from Highland Springs Soap Company from Cranbrook BC. This is their new tallow formula, so let's give this a go. Good afternoon, white shaving enthusiasts and newbies. Welcome into the rabbit hole with Cal Shaves. You know, the past year has been really difficult. Chris and Mary Troniak wanted to do their homage to about how strong our species is, about how we endure, we overcome, we forge ahead, we become stronger. And they've come up with their soap Forge. Now I'm going by memory here. Scent notes on this is tobacco, vetiver, patchouli, lemon, citrus, tonka bean, and musk. It's a really, really nice scent. Like I said, it's their beef tallow formula. Of course, matching splash. I've never used it before. I'm gonna be going with Coyote Cuts Synthetic. This is one I got from him a little while ago. And this one does have the coin in the bottom. I actually had two of like this, but I just gave the other one to my chiropractor this morning. So we're gonna put this, doesn't need to soak, but we will wet it in the bowl. Based on what Ken Surfs does, because I've got a lot of growth, I've actually got a bowl in the sink. I'll just dump that in the toilet after. While I build up my lather, I'm gonna use the beard blanket to soften out my whiskers. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna actually angle the camera down. Take that. And one of my subscribers asked, I normally build up off the soap, but this time I'm putting it right into my Thirsty Badger lather bowl. So, again, I've never used this before, so I'm interested in using it. I may not get it built up properly the first time. We're gonna put the beard blanket on. We're gonna tilt the camera down and you can get the lather built up. And like I said, I've got a lot of growth to go through, so it'll be a challenge for the razor I've selected for the shave. Make sure I get this right side.
Forge was an inspiration that came to me recently just due to the world situation with COVID and all the things we're facing in many ways. I was trying to think of a way to capture that in very few words, and most people would be able to understand and relate to almost instantly. I guess Forge fit that bill. It finally came to me after a while, and it sort of worked on more than one front. You know, firstly it was, to me, the need to forge on or press on, move forward, find the energy to keep pushing, keep making things happen regardless of the boundaries or obstacles that are put in front of you. And the more it also meant, or fit in the sense that it was like being in a foundry, being forged, being pounded and pressed into some new shape or form. It started out in one facet and ended up as another. So it kind of became a double meaning for me, I guess, and I tried to portray that in the description when I released the soap, and Mary and I agreed it was probably a pretty good fit. It also fit on the front that we need to use the tools we have as a society to be able to manage these issues and move forward. You know, there's been a lot of hardship in times before us. People have managed through decades and decades of hard times, whether it be war or famine or disease or any of those horrible things. And somehow as humanity we've found a way to live on. So now it's our turn to deal with this, which pales in comparison, but it's going to require us to, it's going to require us to use our skills and knowledge to move forward and to learn from what we're living through and be able to pass that on to future generations. So that was basically it in a nutshell, and we hope that everybody can share that common message and thought and find the strength and the willpower to keep moving on.
As usual, we'll do the first pass in real time, and then subsequent passes we'll probably do in multi-speed, just to try and keep it short. Don't want to see it in there, don't need to see it in real time. Based on a couple of posts from Canadian wet shavers on Facebook, I've decided to go with a British flare tip. This was made in the 50s. These, as far as I recall, don't have the date code on them like the American Gillettes do. And I've loaded this with a brand new Bolzano. I normally go with the Voskhod, but I figured I'd try the Bolzano. I haven't used them in quite a while. I find them more aggressive, a little rougher, than the Voskhod, but also a bit sharper. They're quite more expensive than the Voskhds. So, by our face, again, a lot of growth to go through. Highland Springs, their tallow formula is considered by most in the wet shaving community to be top shelf. I have a few of their scents. Havana Beehive over there. Mystic is in my bedroom on the shelf. I've also tried their Kootenai Blue. I've also got their Kootenai Blossom, which is intended as a woman's shave soap. I will use that another time. Some floral scents I really like, and they're light, and I would consider them unisex, so I was curious to see what the Kootenai Pink or Kootenai Blossom is like. And it is definitely strongly what I would consider feminine scent, but I will be giving that a go another time. So, got that lathered up. And like I said, worst case now, this razor is not aggressive enough, doesn't mow through it. I'll switch over to the Mueller R41. Nice light scent. As soon as my cheeks don't fill in, that's really not going to be the trouble spot. It's going to be the neck. It's going to really put this razor through its paces. I know we talked about it on Canadian wet shavers. You know, if you could only pick one razor to use, and there are so many great razors out there. And this is really actually surprising me about how much it's mowing through that. Although I don't use the flare tips often enough, I love the flare tips. In particular to the Canadian and British flare tips. And much to my surprise, it's really taken that off very easily. very little blade feel. That soap is really nice. Okay, we'll come up and clean up that side next pass. I'm really glad I've got the bowl in the sink because, like I said, there's a lot there. So this video is more about the soap and its tallow formula than the razor itself. But what I will say, and I didn't measure this, but I'm gonna guess that's probably what, about a 3.5 inch handle. I'm a big guy, I'm 6'3"-ish. I've got big hands. A lot of guys say they prefer a longer handle, 4 inches, whatever. For me, I still prefer the shorter handle. It's just my preference, even with my big hands. I like to hold it this way, and I find it easier to maneuver. So we'll re-wrap the face, get ready for pass number 2. We'll clean up the lines on that after. I don't have coarse beard growth, or coarse beard rather, coarse whiskers. So what works for me may not work for somebody else. But no, Chris and Mary are, like I said, out of Cranbrook, BC. I live in New Brunswick, Canada, so they are the other side of the country for me. I'd love to get out there someday. It looks beautiful out there. And like I said, their products don't get as much recognition in the community as they deserve. Their formulas are just spot on. Like I said, a lot of guys love them. Tim Tallow, Timmy Two Shaves, the Shaving Telson, loves their formula. Most guys do. So again, we're probably going to multi-speed parts of this, but we're going to do the second pass against or across the grain. I just find putting air in my cheeks helps give me more surface to work with. I get to the whiskers easier. I do skin stretching as well. So we're definitely gonna do one more pass. Cheeks still, or the neck rather, especially in here, and still get a fair bit of stubble. Again, mowing off a lot. And great idea from Ken Surfs. There's a lot of hair in that bowl. I love the concept behind this scent. Yeah, because we're just dealing with a very, very difficult time. Hopefully we're starting to come out of it. I know it's still going to be a number of rough months yet, but hopefully. But like I said, we're a very resilient, strong species, and we will get through this. And what we learn from this will help subsequent generations. So again, the British Gillette flare tip, and this will be against the grain. On this last pass, I go fairly light anyway with the pressure, but I definitely go very light with it because it will cause irritation. That's really nice. Given how much growth that had to mow through. Very, very impressed with that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause the video, we're gonna dump that, wash it out of the goatee and wash this off my face, and we'll be right back to do the post and talk about this some more. So we'll be right back, thanks. Yeah guys, so we got it cleaned out. A little bit of weepers under there. Nice feel. Again, given how much that had to mow through, that is damn near BBS. So, but regardless, taking our PAA dry dock aloe, just gonna wet it under the sink. And this is gonna give us some feedback. It'll burn if there's any abrasions. And I am completely and totally surprised. A little bit of burn down here, just very, very minor. Pat you around back on pat it on a towel. Back in your dry dock, it'll air out, be ready to go for your next shave, which in my case will probably be about another week or so. So, really nice thickness on. That's what, like I said, my first time using their tallow based. But that's that. And as soon as we rinse the alum off, we're going to be applying their matching aftershave. Now, I don't have my readers in here, but I believe that this isn't alcohol based. I'll know when I put it on. But I see witch hazel extract on here, water, aloe vera, of course your scents and perfumes and all that stuff in there. We'll be giving this a go after, and then we'll talk about some more. Now, like I said, this is my first time using it, but I did sample it out to someone already. I sent a care package to a few days ago. No, there's no alcohol in that at all. Let's keep it out of the eyes. Really. Kudos to the British, that flare tip. Just phenomenal. Like I said, if I had to pick just one razor, and I've got so damn many nice razors that I'm really happy with, be it my Carve, my Ascension. Okay, let me rephrase this. If I had to go with a vintage, just one vintage, I think I'd have to go with a flare tip. Particularly, I said this British is just phenomenal. Put a brand new Voskhod in there. And like I said, these were built in the 50s, so they're what, 60, 70 years old? Fantastic. By the way, I did mention about the Kootenai Blossom, and this is what it is. A lot of women are getting into wet shaving instead of using canned foam stuff. And this is what it is. Yeah, I don't know what the scent notes are, I cannot remember. But very floral. Definitely quite feminine, as opposed to someone like Shermonic 1778, which is very light, but florally, but still, I would say call it definitely unisex. But I will use this in a shave just for, you know, one of these days. They obviously don't make a magic splash for this. It's, like I said, geared towards women who are getting into wet shaving, and I highly recommend. So we're going to wrap this one up. That was just, like I said, much of my surprise, the flare tip. So that was Highland Springs Forge, their recent beef tallow base. Very affordable. That is like a croup. Very creamy, very soft. Of course, matching aftershave, witch hazel and aloe vera. I don't think there's alcohol in this. I'll double check their website. We went with a Bolzano. Again, these are probably in my top 5s. A little bit more sharper, in my opinion, than a Voskhod. Like I said, probably double or triple the price of a Voskhod, depending on where you get them from. But still, great razor. British flare tip from the 50s. And our Coyote cuts. 24 millimeter synthetic with a coin on the bottom from Richard Coyote or Seaotter. I'm not sure which he goes by. He is out of Ontario, and I think he's taking a bit of a hiatus due to his full-time job. I'm not sure if he's still making handles or not. I have had 4 or 5 of his brushes in my collection, including my Coyote Cola, which I believe is a 2-band badger I haven't used in a little while. Love it. So, and of course, our Thirsty Badger lather bowl. You guys have got to check out the website for these guys. I use this on almost every shave, and it is my go-to almost every time. So, it's going to wrap this one up. So like I said, guys, dealing with what we're dealing with, we will get through this. We are a very strong species, and we will get through this together. It's going to be a little bit there. It's going to, there's going to be some hard times yet ahead, but hopefully we're coming out of it. So work together. Stay safe. Take care of each other. We'll see you again in a few days. You take care. Bye-bye.